What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. Joining us again is my sister Jenny.
Hey, kitty cats.
We got another Andor reaction coming at you. Last week's episode was a very fitting sort of mid-season finale. It kind of seems obvious that there are now 3-episode story arcs.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to operate under the assumption that there are going to be a couple more 3-episode story arcs now, and that we're at the very beginning of a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and anticipate this is going to be, we're going to go back to a little sort of light storytelling to try and kick something new off, because we just had our high-flying heist episode.
Yeah.
But with that said, we've already set up a bunch of storylines now that we can sort of pick up where we left off, including Karn, Dedra the ISB lady, characters like this, going back to Bix on Ferrix, and those characters that were introduced in the first. So there's things that we've already started now where we can pick up, and that's great, because even though we're starting new, we're also continuing where we left off, and it's not that the excitement level is going to be as high as it was last week, but the fact that this is a character driven storytelling situation, this is right where we want to be.
Well, and meanwhile, the overarching story, which is sort of Cassian's origin story as a member of the Rebel Alliance, is still ongoing. He's still sort of out on his own right now. He's taken this manifesto with him, which we anticipate is going to play some role in his evolution. Yeah. And he's got some things to figure out about his place in this universe still.
Maybe we're kind of just assuming he's going to be like lying there reading some of what Nemec wrote and considering some of it maybe, and having kind of maybe like an existential moment.
A come to Jesus kind of moment.
Yeah, I mean, because it would make sense that if he's going to get it out of this text, he'd have to sort of get it himself. One other thing I want to point out before we jump in and start this episode is I noticed the thumbnail for the episode, there's some stormtroopers in the background, which is a visual...
It's a new one on this show. That's something shockingly, in 6 episodes, we have not seen a single stormtrooper, not a single lightsaber, none of the things that we generically associate with Star Wars.
I'm not going to count a lightsaber in, but I'm definitely going to be
You know what I mean, though? We haven't seen a lot of those sort of like iconic Star Wars staples in this show so far, and yet it's still other than a TIE fighter, and it's still managed to keep us incredibly engaged. So
let's do it.
You know, this is a new development.
Let's jump in, have some fun. We'll talk about it afterwards, guys. See you there.
What makes you believe the Bureau of Standards is in the market for individuals?
Bureau of Standards.
The collar. You've had it raised.
I had it tailored.
Everything says something, Cyril.
What is it that you hear my collar saying?
Look at me. I don't believe in myself. I am desperate for approval.
What happened?
Rabble? They attacked the garrison. They'll regret it.
The use of any local custom, festival, or tradition as cover for rebel activity will trigger permanent revocation of Imperial tolerance.
Just wiping out everybody's cultures in one blow.
And he's assured me that the ISB will be taking the lead going forward. All prison sentences are immediately re-evaluated. All outstanding fines and levies are to be paid in full.
So they're just going full Gestapo.
This is exactly what they want. We're treating what happened at Aldani like a robbery.
What would you call it?
An announcement.
134 Aldani residents have been taken into custody under suspicion of abetting the terrorists.
Ooh.
And worried you might do something like this.
How I wish I had.
Realize what you set in motion.
It was time for that as well.
Palpatine won't hesitate now.
Exactly. We need the fear. We need them to overreact.
You can't be serious.
Time has come to force their hand.
People will suffer.
That's the plan. You're not angry at me. Just saying out loud what you already know. There will be no rules going forward. If you're not willing to risk your conscience, then surrender and be done with it. We need every credit we can get our hands on. Let me know how the meeting goes.
I'm afraid I won't be taking either of these pieces this morning.
I have some new things coming in very, very soon. Always at your service.
I hope she's worth it.
That little disagreement was very interesting because it represents 2 different philosophies of radical activism.
Yeah, she's gonna figure it out sooner or later that she can't do everything with diplomacy.
People think we're
That's such a
kidding
cool
when we
shot.
say it.
Beautiful.
There are no small jobs at the Bureau of Standards.
How Orwellian.
I spoke
It's
with
like
your uncle.
the TVA.
Yeah.
Some sectors.
We're like the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah.
Weights and gauges may seem a more vibrant arena than redundancy or verification, but walk the floor.
Imperial cubicles. Wow.
I believe that we have lost for a reason. I fully intend to clear my name and have my record expunged.
Why don't we start that process now?
Hmm.
Would approve. Fresh start, eh? New beginnings. We
Rat droid.
to have an immediate opening in
Kind of an
fuel
Easter egg.
purity.
Fuel
I'd hate to see
purity.
you miss your chance.
He's got all these aspirations, and he's literally out there measuring like ethanol content.
Mm-hmm.
Stormtroopers.
Yep. We need people who read Arabic to translate. Oh, these cityscape views are
Yeah,
it's
every
awesome.
single shot is just like
that looks like underneath the
beautiful.
high rise in LA or whatever.
Beautifully
Yeah.
composed.
And it just looks like the subway. Like,
Yeah.
They probably filmed that in a real subway.
Oh, there's little like
yeah,
marks.
markers. Yeah.
I want a record of all missing avionics, comm, navigation, and targeting equipment. I'll need this report kept confidential, and a copy sent exclusively to my office. Can I rely on you for that level of discretion?
Can do.
Will do.
Will do.
All right. She's
a diehard fanatic about her job, but I mean, she's got Cassian pinned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cinta's back in the woods.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Again, beautiful.
Beautiful, all of these shots, yeah.
You heard from Cinta? She's doing what she was told.
We have a loose end. Cassian Andor, who you know as Clem.
We can't have him walking around with Luthen in his head.
You mean kill him?
This is what revolution looks like.
We'll send you what we have on him.
You can't stay here, Cass. It's not safe.
There's to the troopers now.
That was fast.
Yeah, they came the next day. Ferrix is under Imperial authority. But you can't be here, Cass.
Go tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, why not? What do we need to take but the three of us? It's all gonna be different now, Mom.
It's kind of important that he referred to them as the three of them, which means he considers personhood for droids.
Yeah. An ongoing theme.
Yeah.
And we'll pull out first thing in the morning. All right?
So the first thing.
Let's do that.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Just long enough for her to die. Are we gonna see like Masa Maida or something?
Look at her party dress.
Mother?
Liga. Remember my daughter?
Of course.
Is Tay Coma, one of my oldest friends.
How do you do?
You've met before. Bank of Coma, you know, Adrien and Martha from back home?
It's been a long time and you've certainly grown up.
So everyone says.
Typical banker, no one pays me to be original.
You're excused.
Lovely seeing you again.
Yes. Have fun, Mother.
I want to tell you something only 3 people in the galaxy know about.
Why would you want to do that?
Because I need your help, and I'm hoping I can trust you.
I'm not sure you're aware how far afield some of us have taken our political allegiances these days. Sorry, I think I've had a bit too much of Perrin's empty punch.
Drink up. The Mon Mothma people think they know. It's a lie. It's a projection. It's a front. I've learned from Palpatine. I show you the stone in my hand, you miss the knife at your throat. So as long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
Raising money. I need to access my family accounts. Until recently, I was able to dip in and out of my family fortune without concern. That's changed. I need help.
Raising money for what?
Forming a Chandrilan charitable outreach program. You're my best shot.
You haven't answered my question.
No, you're better off not knowing. Or perhaps you find my politics a bit strong for your taste.
Oh. All right, well, she's got her money.
He knows none of this. He's not to be trusted.
Wow.
Damn.
There you are. Reminiscing, are we? School days? May I steal her back? There's a few guests that require special handling.
Of course.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was awesome. They managed somehow to make a little conversation suspenseful.
The subtext was just like, bam.
I think we're about to run into Bix. New England clam chowder.
Is that the red or the white?
You can't be here, Cass. People blame you for what happened.
Blame me?
You killed 2 corpos and came home to hide.
If Damon kept his mouth shut.
If this, if that, if you, if me.
Your crazy boyfriend tries to get me killed, and I'm the villain.
You need to get as far away from here as you can.
I am. You won't have to worry about me anymore. 12,000 credits. It's everything I owe.
Be careful, Cass.
You too.
Good luck to them.
You want to live under that?
It's happening everywhere.
Well, we'll find a place they haven't ruined yet.
I'm already there. My head. They can build as many barracks as they like. They'll never find me.
What's left to keep you here?
The rebellion.
What?
This is madness.
No, it's not. It's overdue and probably doomed, and I'm too old, and I don't care anymore. Get to the square. I take the long way around, so I don't have to think about Clem hanging there.
Oh, that Clem is somebody real.
It's his dad. Remember, that's his name of his dad was Clem.
You ever heard about this?
That was his dad. It was just
Bede played me the news. You know what I'm talking about? If there are heroes brave enough to take on a whole Imperial garrison, I'm brave enough to stick it out here. People are standing up.
Yeah, and getting killed for it.
I've been lying around waiting to die long enough.
I'll be worried about you all the time.
That's just love. You can't stay, and I can't go.
Cooker, can I speak now?
No! Tell me you understand.
I don't.
Stop searching for your sister. It's a fantasy. Let it go.
I'm coming back.
Of course you are.
Ah, Fiona Shaw breaking my heart.
I wish to lodge a charge against a fellow supervisor. I believe our sector protocols, as described in the ISB Code of Conduct, are being violated by Supervisor Miro.
Supervisor Miro, do you mind having your integrity ventilated in public?
No, sir.
There's an unusual piece of naval equipment recovered. Miro wanted your crime reports.
You determined her request was out of order and in violation of the chain of command.
That's not accurate. You advised me to reinforce my suspicions with data and to be careful in my work going forward.
Careful? I'd be curious how many people at this table will think it careful that you found a way to access our sector data without ever filing a request.
Is that true, Dedra?
Yes. I used the Imperial Emergency Act in the wake of Aldani to gather data across multiple sectors without official sanction. I'd like to know if anyone here believes the rebellion plans its actions around the artificially constructed boundaries of our sectors. You really think the rebels care about the lines we draw on maps?
You think the relevance of my work has been supplanted?
Systems either change or die.
He's gonna appreciate her boldness and call this asshole out right now.
Thesis, please.
By accessing unfiltered sector crime reports, I can now prove a link between the theft of our most secret equipment and its distribution to rebel groups across the galaxy. I believe Supervisor Blevin is aware I have a documented file ready to go. I believe his accusations here this morning have more to do with self-preservation than any sense of urgency.
Imagine if everyone in this room played as loose with the rules as you.
An excellent suggestion, Blevin. I'm wondering where we'd be right now if everyone here showed the same endeavor as Supervisor Miro.
There you go. Yep.
For the moment, I'm reassigning the Morlana sector to Supervisor Miro. Ferrix is of great interest to her and has clearly become a distraction for you. As I salute the provocative exchange of ideas, accelerate your schedule. Young, I will expect your report on Ord Mandel tomorrow. Thank you all for the lively session. Well played.
Thank you, sir.
Watch your back.
Yo. Cool, man. Wildlife.
It's like we're going to the beach.
Neamos. This is a new... Cool. It's like Miami.
Yeah.
Neamos. It even looks...
It even has a similar name.
And whoever this actress is looks conveniently from Miami.
Keith. How many pizzos? Don't forget the pizzos.
We got a pizzas?
Pizzos and Revnock. Keith, are you listening?
I love this environment. This is awesome.
I know. There's all these old, like, retirees, like... Shore trooper.
Cassian's on spring break.
Yep.
No, I'm on my way to the store.
You need to back up. Stand right there. You look like you're sweating.
Well, it's hot.
Or you've been running. Me.
Wait, no.
Come to us up. Or he's gonna make this...
But I'm not running.
You got that right. That window is shut. Droid assistance, please.
There's no way they introduce this droid and have this not end up being K2SO. It's not gonna be him now. But...
What is he? No, this is crazy.
Hang on to this one for me.
He meant watch. No, he means watch.
Yo.
Tell him you mean watch!
Civil disruption, anti-imperial speech, fleeing the scene of anti-imperial activity.
There's something wrong.
I wouldn't. We got enough trouble without a resisting judgment charge. This used to be a 6-month sentence. 6 years.
6 years? Wait, but...
Change of guidelines.
Take him away.
I didn't do anything. Hey!
Take it up with the Emperor.
Orwellian indeed.
That was an interesting ending.
Yeah. Pretty much exactly what we anticipated at the beginning. Slow paced, getting sort of a new ball rolling, if you will, while kind of, acknowledging what's happened already. Very few actual reactions in that episode because you and I were both so just like...
engrossed.
The whole time.
Yeah.
There were multiple scenes in this episode that were like long... dialogue scenes between two characters having an intent. Like there was Luthen and Mon Mothma in the beginning. Mon Mothma and her banker friend had that long subtext
heavy conversation.
Where there was like slow, intense music building in the background where it was like, wow, they just made a suspenseful scene out of just two people talking at a cocktail party. Like that was like, it's just two people having a conversation, but they made, because of the context, it was so like, ooh, like stakes are high. Things you can still feel the intensity, even though. And I was making that comment about the episodes leading up to the previous episode, where it was like nothing exciting has happened yet, but I can feel everything building. I can feel the intensity behind it. Yeah.
Not to mention that heartbreaking scene between Cassian and his mother.
Yeah.
I wanted to cry.
Fiona Shaw, like, damn.
Whew.
Damn, like
masterclass on acting.
Once again, the acting
Fiona
in this show was great. And she did it there, man. Yeah, it was definitely getting misty-eyed there for a minute just listening to her. There was a lot going on in this episode, despite the fact that the activity level was so low, and the Dedra and the ISB, that whole scene, once again, like there's a lot of these like intense moments that like it's not about physical intensity, it's all about the emotional charge of all of that, and
the interpersonal dynamics.
Yeah, 100%.
we checked in with almost everybody.
Yeah.
If not actually everybody this episode. We got Luthen, we got Mon Mothma, we got Vel, and this new sort of handler character.
Yeah.
That was an interesting little scene because she's now like, go take care of this Cassian Andor problem.
Yeah.
We
For
got
a second,
Karn
can
and
you
his mother and
clear
his
this
uncle.
up for me? I didn't know whether that lady in the red hoodie was the employee from Luthen's place. Just
I
dressed
wasn't sure
differently.
either. I thought that might be the same person.
I'm like, did they just give her a new outfit?
I was thinking the same thing, and I
that she's
wasn't
just the middleman?
100%
I think
positive.
that's what it was. Either way, she functioned the same way. Where it
Yeah.
was like Vel can't communicate directly with Luthen because then they're tied together. They have to have like
The go-between.
Yeah. So I think that is what that was, right? That was the employee lady.
I think so.
And
Clea,
then-
is that her name?
Yeah, I can't remember because at first that was a little unclear. I was like, oh, this is a new character. I think it's just because they gave her
The
such a
hair was
different look.
different,
Yeah.
and the outfit was different, and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, there was just like a bit of every storyline that we've encountered so far played into this episode. Sort of every character and every storyline was like caught up with.
Once again, I absolutely love the way they like use the environments. And there were multiple environments. Some of them I'd see them again, like this Neamos planet at the end, which was blatantly just a nod to Miami.
Yeah, he's in South Beach.
Was obviously reminiscent of Scarif, where they are at in Rogue One, which has that tropical, palm tree, sandy beach feel. So it was reminiscent of and the Mud Troopers, which are in Rogue One. So it was nice having a little bit of that Rogue One feel. But having the Imperial presence, where we're seeing Stormtroopers and Mud Troopers and probe droids, and you could start to feel the galaxy getting overrun by Imperial
Well, we've
activity.
seen that this incident on Aldhani is really a flashpoint for not only for the rebellion but for the Empire. They're really clamping down. They're turning 6-month prison sentences into 6-year prison sentences. They're taking over entire star systems where previously they've just kind of lived and let live. And they're making their presence known. I said they were going full Gestapo, but the scene between Cassian and his mother, I had this, and she was talking about the rebellion and like the little ways she's able to contribute even at her old age and all of that. It was like she's like in Vichy France. That was the sense I got. I was like, she's quietly like behind the scenes defending her home but also contributing in her small way. And they're really flexing their muscles as the Empire in a way that they haven't previously done, which is leading up to the Empire that we know and love to hate, you know?
And they mentioned, like, we heard them talk about Palpatine multiple times by name. So it was Mon Mothma talking about it in particular. Every scene on Coruscant where there were just like little corners of the frame would have like background activity going on, but you'd see like traffic flying through the air. And, it just seemed so. We talked about this previously, where it's like Coruscant feels lived in. It feels real. It feels
it's a
like
holistic
I'm watching a
environment,
TV show in a high-rise apartment in New York City, and you can see the traffic in the background. And it's just having that sort of sense of like, we're on Coruscant, we're in the city, we're in a high-rise apartment. You feel like you're there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and all of those little scenes, that every time it would like switch to a different camera angle, it would be like, look at that! Like, it looked like, once again, like they put their money into just creating these little, it'll last just a moment. It's a brief little moment where you see a cool scene, but it just, even 5 seconds of Coruscant in the background makes the environment feel that much more. Yeah, I love it.
Another thing that was really powerful for me this episode was this sort of disagreement between Luthen and Mon Mothma about how to approach rebellion. By the time we catch up with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and A New Hope, which is just sort of 5 short years after these events, the rebellion is already a fairly well-organized alliance, right? And at this point, it's experiencing growing pains. It's still like a burgeoning movement. Everybody's, cloistered off, like you said, Luthen and Vel can't even like meet in person. And it's sort of this little guerrilla warfare style insurgency at this point in time. And that conversation that Luthen and Mon Mothma have is sort of 2 different people who are powerful within this movement disagreeing about like fundamental philosophy of rebellion, of activism. And like you said, hers is more pragmatic, is more diplomatic at this point, and that's not going to work for her forever.
She has a golden heart, and she's pure.
On the other hand, Luthen isn't 100% correct either. Like, they just pulled off this heroic stunt on Aldhani, right? And like Fiona Shaw's character said, people are standing up. That really inspired people. That was bigger than just a robbery.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a human toll. They just said 134 Aldhani people were rounded up for suspicion of aiding and abetting the terrorists. And the Aldhani people did nothing.
Yeah,
they're already oppressed, and those are collateral damage. That's, you know, just these innocent people.
Yep.
So there's a human toll to this already. So neither one of them is 100% correct. They need each other.
Yeah.
And they need each other's philosophies, and we're really experiencing that as like growing pains of the rebellion.
Yeah. Which is, it's funny. Well, it's almost like Luthen and Marva kind of like see things the same way in terms of like they understand the toll. They understand that it's not pretty, that you can't, like, people are gonna die kind of thing. Like, and then Mon Mothma may be coming to terms with that a little bit. Obviously, like, her banker friend was like, oh, he kind of hinted, I don't really know if you're into the shit I'm into.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, come on.
He's like,
I'm
into some freaky shit. And she's like, let me tell you a story.
Yeah, she's like, I got a story for you, pal. I think, this, obviously by the time Return of the Jedi rolls around, Mon Mothma is the center of the rebellion.
Yeah.
And I guess in Rogue One too, she's already...
Well, that's why I say they need each other. You're sort of describing it as Luthen and Marva, they see the reality, but you also have to care. Otherwise, what is it for? What are you rebelling for if you don't actually care about the people who are suffering, who are oppressed? And so you need her heart, you need her compassion.
Yeah.
To keep the moral center in the rebellion.
That's actually a kind of like, I guess, one of the things they were hinting at in this episode when Val and that lady in the red, whatever her name was, were talking, and she basically implied, like, you need to find Clem and kill him.
Yeah.
It was like, and she was like, that's what revolution is, or whatever, and it gave you that moment, once
again,
a moment
gotta
of,
break
like,
some eggs to make an omelet.
where you're like, wait a minute, who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Like, wait a minute, because in the previous episode, I was like, it was very interesting seeing who we are thinking of as the good guys, like, terrorizing a family with guns, being like, shut up! Like, they look like bank robbers, and it's like, oh, so wait a minute, we're always in that gray area.
You do need to crack some eggs to make an omelet, but at the same time, like, you have to.
What I was getting at was
you can't forget either the forest or the trees, if you know what I mean. You know, like war is never clean. Revolution is never bloodless. It's never clean. But at the same time, you have to remember who it's for and why you're doing what you're doing. You need the ideals that Nemec has.
That's what Mon Mothma is there for.
That's what Nemec's manifesto is about: independence and freedom and justice.
Well,
and like, you need those ideals.
They had a little shot of Nemec in the preview thing in the beginning, but they didn't include anything about the manifesto in this episode. Yeah. But they thought they might, and it turned out being that Marva actually had a little bit more of an influence on Cassian's attitude first, if at all.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's really, guys, continue to watch this show for all of the same reasons that we discussed. It's obviously the reaction to this episode. It's not necessarily like,
we're not going to whoa,
but there was,
but it really is engrossing. It really like keeps you absorbed and
the intensity is there for sure. And I'm looking forward to guys. In the comments below, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want fully unedited reactions, go to patreon.com. Good night, guys.